What's up, guys? My name is TechnoTuner, and today I'm bringing to you another deck profile. And the deck profile I'm bringing to you guys today is my Fiendsmith Magical Musket deck build. This deck has a lot of capabilities. It gives Magical Musket more resilience and a lot more plays to do than just the cast bar pass. For most of the others, it turns it from more of a control deck into more of a ramp deck. For the longer the game goes, the better off you're looking. I will state that this deck has been a lot of fun to play. I've had great success with this deck, and it's a lot of fun. You're mainly planning on going second, but you can go into first now as well, with the Fiendsmith engine allowing you to get that negate set up. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop right on into this deck profile. I'll show you what I mean. So, for the Magical Musket cards, basically, I am playing 3 Magical Musket cast bar. Basically, if you activate a spell or trap in its column, you can add 1 Magical Musket card. It is our Magical Musket searcher for the deck. Then we have 3 Magical Musket Starfire. Once again, if a spell or trap is activated in this card's column, you can special summon a Magical Musket from your deck to your field in defense position. The one thing I will state about the Magical Muskets are that it doesn't matter which side activates the spells or traps, as long as they are within the same column as these creatures, you get to proc the Magical Musket effects, which can help you out in the long run. I next do play 2 Dock and 1 Wild. I don't play Calamity because Wild is a little bit better. It's basically a pot of Avarice, allowing you to shuffle back 3 Magical Musket cards into your deck from the graveyard, and then you get to draw a card. Magical Musketeer Dock is if a spell or trap is activated, you get to add 1 Magical Musket card from your graveyard to your hand, so it's a good way to get some recursion back for what cards you need to further your combo or just to establish control. That's all for the actual Magical Musket monsters that I do have here in the deck. Next, we're going to be looking at the Fiendsmith line, which is 3 Fiendsmith Engraver, 2 Lacrima, and 1 Fabled Lori. I do play only 2 Lacrima in this build because I don't want to really see it that often, because it is another normal summon, while our Magical Muskets are a normal summon, depending on what we use. Engraver just gives us more capability to further grow the board and use its graveyard effect to get more and more effects going. Lori is our discard target when we get the Fiendsmith track, just so we can go into our Link 1 plays. It's very helpful overall. Now, if you're looking to replace this engine with something more beneficial or cheaper, the other options I could recommend are, you could do Magical Musket Unchained, you could do Magical Musket... what was it? Magical Musket Fabled. Now, that deck is a lot of fun because it can allow you to synchro and control, but I'm working on a deck build for that. Next, we have 1 Unchained Soul of Shavara. This is our just free extender that we have in the deck with a small Unchained engine, and then 1 Diabolica Dragonique General. If a Fiend monster except this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. If it was sent there when the monster was sent, or if this card is still in hand, you can still summon it, but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can target 1 Fiend monster in your graveyard, except Diabolica, and add it to your hand. So if you can Foolish this card or just send it off for cost, you can then add 1 of the monsters that you want back into your hand that's already in your grave, back to hand, so you can continue your play. For hand traps, I only play 3. I'm playing a low hand trap ratio because Magical Musket spells and traps really allow for a higher interaction, but I am playing 3 Ash Blossom as the monster hand trap. If you want, I would recommend probably lowering the spells and traps a little bit for what I'm about to show, to add in 3 Molcharmy, just to give you an extra draw. Next, I play 3 Link into the Brains. This card is insane for the deck because it turns any of your Magical Muskets into a Link 1, whether it be Requiem or Magical Musket Tier Max. It basically allows you to special summon 1 monster from your hand, but negates effects. Then immediately after this effect resolves, Link summon one monster using monsters you control as material, including that monster. This link summon cannot be negated. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when a monster is link summoned this way. If a link monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in your graveyard, banish this card, add one monster from your graveyard to your hand with the same original type as one of those destroyed monsters. So this card helps basically ensure the summon of the monster. Next, I do play 3 Fiendsmith Tract. This card is just basically a way for us to get a dig through our deck, add a card that we need, and then we can send it off. Another card that we don't want in our hand, usually it's Lurie if we hard draw it, or if we want, we can send Engraver to start our combos for further extensions. We can also send the Magical Muskets just so we can trigger off Dock Effect or get Wild rolling as well. Next, I play 2 Fiendsmith Sanct. This card is really helpful because if you don't have any monsters, you have a way to basically special summon a token that's a light fiend. Does have only 0 attack and 0 defense, and it can't declare attack. You can't declare attacks for this turn except with fiend monsters. That's perfectly fine because that's what we're basically playing for the deck. If a face-up Fiendsmith monster you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect while this card's in your graveyard, you can set this card. So it's also helping you to further continue your plays if you want to. It's just a generic good extender. That's what I have for the Fiendsmith line for spells and for a little bit of supplementals. I do play the 2 Magical Musket Cross Domination. It is just basically a effect veiler that you get to drop the opponent's monster's attack and defense by down to 0 as well. So it has another benefit to it. It's also a quick play, which you can use to trigger off a Magical Musket effect. The only downside is you have to control a Magical Musket monster to be able to activate this card. So that's the only downside to the Magical Musket spells and traps that you'll see. Finally, for the last spell of the deck, I do play 3 Forbidden Droplet because if you have a Magical Musket on board or you're looking to activate a quick play, you can activate Forbidden Droplet if they go to negate it somehow or activate a monster effect in response. You can Forbidden Droplet, send the quick play, so it'll still resolve, but the Forbidden Droplet will also allow you to further negate and drop a monster's attack if you would like. So it's just very helpful because it turns any interaction into, well, does he have the droplet or not, to really stop my play or stop my counteraction. Next, for traps, I play 2 Magical Musket Last Stand. This is our spell Trap Negate. I play 2 Magical Musket Desperado, which is our monster or card pop. It does have to be a face-up card, though. That's the only downside outside of you needing to control a Magical Musket to even be able to activate these cards. Which isn't hard with this deck. It's just a little clunky at times when you are looking for a way to continue on and you don't really have a Magical Musket in your hand, but you have one of those spells or traps in hand. Next, I do play the 1 Fiendsmith in Paradise and the 1 Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. Fiendsmith in Paradise is really helpful because it can turn literally any of your Fiendsmith big fusion monsters into a basic board wipe. And then if your opponent special summons a monster while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, send 1 Fiendsmith monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard, further allowing you to continue your play and set up resources for the long game. Abominable Chamber of the Unchained, it's just great because you can special summon the Shavara from your graveyard or the extra deck monster from your graveyard if you need to. If not, you could just pop it to special summon the Shavara from deck, which can help you out as well. Then for the final trap, I do play 3 Infinite Impermanence. This card is just basically another hand trap. It functions as an effect veiler and helps you get negation on the board. So you can further play through any of the boards that you're really not wanting to deal with. Alright, so that's all for the main deck. Let's move on to the extra deck. For the actual Fiendsmith package, you're going to see a lot of the normal cards, such as Necroquip Princess. You take a Fiendsmith that's equipped with a Link monster, you go directly into Necroquip. Revive the Fiendsmith, you get to go into DDD Wave King High Caesar. We got 1 Fiendsmith Desiree, 1 Fiendsmith Rex Tremende, Desiree's are extended negate for any cards on the field that we want while he is equipped with a link monster. So you usually want to equip him with the Fiendsmith sequence. Then finally we have the Rextremende, which is just a fun card because you can discard one card, send one light fiend monster from the deck or extra deck to the graveyard. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one other Fiendsmith card in your graveyard or banishment and add to your hand. So it just lets you get through further resources just to fill up your grave for bigger fusions or for other effects. That's all for the fusions I really play in the deck. However, I do play the one Wave King High Caesar. It's just a really good Omni Negate for the deck. Well, monster summon negate, I should say. Next, I do play 2 Magical Musketeer Max. This card is insane for the Magical Muskets because it turns any of your Magical Muskets into the capability of, you can add a magical, depending on what you want to activate, you can activate one of these effects when it's link summoned. Add Magical Musket spells and traps with different names from deck to hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls. Or you can special summon Magical Musket monsters with different names from your deck up to the number of spell and traps your opponents control. So this can turn anything into getting more resources from your deck to your hand to further help you break the board or establish more materials for further links or extension. It's just a very beneficial card. It can also be used as material for Requiem. I do play only one Fiendsmith Requiem in the deck, mainly because it's recyclable. This deck uses Requiem a lot for its combo, but you see it just go back into the extra deck so much. I next do play the one Fiendsmith sequence. That's just our fusion monster. Our link monster allows us to fusion. That's basically what we're using it for, and for Desiree, so we can further get more negates on board for Desiree. I then do play a little fun Unchained package, which is Unchained Soul of Rage, which turns our Unchained monster for Shavara into a quick link, or you can go into Unchained Soul of Yama to make Unchained Soul of Rage. Unchained Soul of Yama is a great card because it lets you add an Unchained monster from the deck or graveyard to your hand, so you can further pop and interact. You can banish this card, special summon one fiend monster from your hand or graveyard, then destroy one card you control. So you can also pop off getting a engraver onto the board and then popping the Unchained Trap to summon Shavara from deck. Because once you pop the trap, it'll allow you to special summon a Shavara from the deck. So you already have a rank 6 play there. The Unchained Soul of Rage is very beneficial because it just basically is body removal when you just use its effect to link away with the opponent's special summon monster. The other Unchained card I do play is the one Unchained Soul of Anguish. The Unchained Soul of Anguish is just a really good card because you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls immediately after its effect resolves. Link summon one Dark Link monster except Unchained Soul of Anguish. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one fiend monster in your graveyard except Unchained Soul of Anguish and add it to your hand. So once again, just recycling. The other link too that I almost forgot, I do play the IP Masquerena because we do play a good few link 4s. So we do play Access Code and Abaku, but we'll go through that when we get there. For the final link 3 of the deck, I do play Fiendsmith Agamonde. This card is very beneficial for the deck because once per turn, you can target one light non-fiend monster in your graveyard, special summon it. If you do equip this card that you control to that monster's equipped spell with the following effects. So the equipped monster gains the attack equal to the total link rating of the link monster equipped to it times 600. If the equipped monster attacks defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. This card is just a great way to get a revive of any of the light fiends that you want from your graveyard back to your board. So you could, in effect, basically get a magical musket, go into Agamonde to equip. It'll trigger because it sees it as a equipped spell. It'll trigger the magical musket card to get a spell or trap. or just to trigger the effect. So if you do it off cast bar, you're basically getting a spell trap. If you get Dock, you're getting a card from graveyard. If you're doing Wild, you'll get to shuffle 3 back, draw 1. If you're doing Starfire, you'll get to special summon 1 from your deck in defense position. It just helps a lot with the actual deck playability. Then for the Link 4s, I play 1 Access Code Talker just for a way to finish up the game as fast as possible, and then 1 Aba Aku, the Lightless Shadow. This card is insane. It takes 2+ monsters, including a Fiend monster. During the main phase, you could discard 1 card and activate one of these effects, destroy a card on a field. Banish this card until the end phase, and if you do, special summon 1 light or dark monster from your graveyard. During your standby phase, draw cards equal to the number of different monsters in your graveyard, then place cards from your hand on the bottom of the deck in any order equal to the number of cards you drew. So it can help you reset your hand if you need to with this deck, which is very beneficial because there's a lot of times where you don't have the monster that you need to activate a magical musket spell or trap, or to really start off the Fiendsmith sequence. But if you get to that point, you are just setting up to further get interruptions for your opponent's board, just so you can go through for next turn. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today with this deck. It has been a lot of fun to play this. The only recommendation I would say to pick up is probably the new card from Duelist Advance, which is Loose. Emissary of Darkness, I believe, if I remember the fusion's name correctly, or Mutiny in the Sky. It can help you with further recursion and being able to set up and play through different interruptions. Anyways, this is all I got for you guys today. If you did like the video, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe, just so I know what kind of content everybody likes to see. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next one.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings? Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?